And we are on. Again, welcome back to the Unpopular Playground. This is Jen. This is Debbie. Say hi, Debbie.
Hey, Debbie.
And as promised from last week, we are going to be talking about our theme of time management for December with deadlines. It is the due date, and now is the time for judgment. Your thoughts, Debbie?
Deadlines are the core component of effective time management, providing a structured framework to ensure tasks are completed efficiently by setting a specific date and time for completion. By establishing deadlines, individuals and teams can prioritize work, reduce procrastination, track progress, and allocate time more effectively, ultimately leading to increased productivity and successful goal attainment. Strategies for managing deadlines. Break down large projects into smaller milestones, setting realistic time estimates, allocating specific time blocks for tasks, build in buffer time to account for unexpected delays. Tools for managing deadlines. To do list apps like Todoist, Microsoft To Do for simple tool, task tracking calendar, scheduling apps like Google Calendar for organizing time. These are all things you can find on your computer. Project management tools like Asana and Trello that offer advanced features for complex projects. There's also more specialized tools such as AI task managers, such as Motion, and time tracking software like Time Doctor. These are all things that will help you keep your deadlines. So, Jen, you have anything else to add to that one?
I do. Once that date comes that you set, and let's say that's today. Today will be your judgment day. That homework assignment is due. Those bills are due. Whatever it is that you set for yourself. And sometimes those dates are not set by you, which make it really interesting. Usually your rent's due on the first. When you get your payday, because if you don't get paid, do you think you're going to want to show up to work the next day? So they're struggling to get payroll together to make sure that you get your paycheck. Your teachers have to get their grades out for you. So you're doing those homework assignments, then they have to do their due diligence to grade it and get feedback to you in a timely fashion as well, and those grades in your progress. So it goes both ways. And a lot of times they can't do their work until you do yours. It's kind of like a symbiotic relationship. So it does give you a concept of time. A lot of times, well, the last episode, we talked a lot about procrastination and how people get into that false sense of security that you have a lot of time. If you can look on that Waze app when you're driving somewhere, and if it shows 30 minutes, sometimes that changes mid route. It'll jump. And if you don't account for traffic, you don't account for having to get gas, you don't account for those things, those little surprises that come up that are out of your control, you're going to miss that time deadline, which is if you're expected to be at work at a certain time and you're late all of the time, you could not have a job anymore. One thing that I do is review my appointments weekly. On the beginning of every week, I think, okay, what appointments do I have this week? What is due this week? So that I have it in my head fresh and I don't miss it. A lot of times, what I'll do, even military always had this thing, if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. What I try to do, I'll trick myself. I used to set my watch to be like 30 minutes ahead so that I would never be late. And I would go because I know myself about, oh, I still got plenty of time. Next thing you know, you're out of time and you're freaking out. You're driving on the road mad with road rage. Get out of my way, and you're not accounting for the disasters and emergencies that could possibly happen. And one thing that I do that helps me, it takes 30 minutes. On the average, 45 minutes to get to Anaheim from where I'm at. I allow for 2 hours. If I start at 3:15, Jen's leaving the house by 1:15. I'll leave 2 hours in advance or sometimes earlier. If I don't have anything to do here at the house, I'll just go and hang out in the area and work on stuff there. And people are like, well, you don't start work until 4 hours from now or 8 hours from now. Why are you here
God.
so early? Because I'm paranoid about being late. If I expect something to happen. And for me, I always have a to go bag of things that I can always do. I'll have my laptop of things to work on for the podcast or other things. Maybe I'm working on my budget or other personal things or even just fun things. I'll bring my color book or just something that anything that I can do here at the house, I can do somewhere else. The only things I can't do anywhere else is my laundry or make the bed or going through things and open up all those envelopes. I can't do those things everywhere else.
Uh,
But most of the time, I'll have a day where I'll work on things here at the house. And then the other days are flexible that I can take out somewhere else. Sometimes I'll have morning appointments. And unfortunately, well, there's priorities. Work is a priority. So I'm almost never late for work. But then there's a hierarchy, and sometimes medical appointments will take the hit for it, and they'll either get canceled at the last minute or I'm late. But I'm working on it.
well, but
It's about working on always trying to become better. I know I'm probably the biggest violator of a lot of these things. And so, why not
you're
share
aware.
the
You're,
journey?
that's the important thing.
And I'm
You're
trying to
aware.
be better.
But that's what we're trying to alert the young people of today. Like, these things happen, but you have to be aware of it. And here's ways that you can help yourself to work around it.
You don't want to make the same mistakes that I did because I've lost jobs, I've lost friends, I've lost a lot of things because I didn't know these things early on. I learned a lot of things in the military. I learned how to be on time in the military because if you didn't, your pay was taken away. You had extra chores, you had a lot of bad consequences
Yeah.
that you didn't want to live. And so all of my lessons I learned the hard way. So learn from me
Right.
and don't do things the hard way. Be aware of these things. If you know you have a hard time with these things, there's a lot of tools out there to help you that Debbie brought up and that I've shared of things that have worked for me. I'm much better now. I still have a little problem with procrastination, but my deadlines, I don't have a whole lot of trouble missing my deadlines
Yeah.
anymore
You know
because I
what?
don't want to pay extra money.
What worked for me really well, and I've done this since I was in school and even when I was in college, I have a calendar that hangs on my pantry door in my kitchen. And I have a calendar on my desk too. And they both have the same things on them. They'll have birthdays, anniversaries, but they also have things that are due. If I'm going to a concert, it'll have the concert on there so I don't overbook. It'll have some bills I pay. I don't pay them online, not that many, but some that I pay, and I'll write down the date that it's got to go out or different things like that so that I know. But I have to write doctor's appointments, they're on the calendar and the time and everything. I have shown up for things and it was like I was a day early and I'm like, are you serious? Didn't you tell me it was here? And then I'm like, oh,
I
fit me in. I've driven 45 minutes to get here. I don't want to go home and then have to come back tomorrow, or else I'm going to have to reschedule and I'll have to do it next month. I'll be like, okay, just this one time. But it was my mistake. I wrote it on the wrong day.
if
But
I don't write it down, it might as well not even exist. I
well, that's
can't, for
it.
me, I
Things
have to
like, I'm like,
physically write it down.
I tell her, I don't even read my emails. I have 7,000 emails I have read. You want me to put something on my calendar on my phone? I don't even know how to open it and put the stuff on there. I said, no, it's got to be where it's in front of my face. And I find that works really well for me because
I mean,
everything's organized and every day I scratch off the day from before. So I
oh,
go, oh, yeah,
I get a euphoric high out of scratching things off,
right?
especially on my list. Oh my gosh. And okay, Debbie, tell me, do you do this? Okay, so like as I'm scratching my things off during the day, I'll be like, oh yeah, I did my laundry. wash, dry, fold, put away. I'll write it on there and then I'll scratch them all off because it makes me feel like I got it all done.
Oh, you're funny. Well, that part I don't have to do. No, that's not one of my things that I do. But it's more like bills, meet so and so at the movies at this time, meet so and so for lunch at this time, because otherwise, I'm telling you, my days. But I think the easiest thing, and when I was in school, I definitely, right next to my computer on the wall, I had everything that was due when I had to go to lab, when I had to go to research. It was all there. So I knew every day where I had to be and what I had to do, work on this, work on that, because
Oh,
otherwise
yeah.
I would have never been able to keep things straight.
My teacher lesson plan book was my Bible. And I would, every week, I'd write down exactly what I needed, what supplies I needed. I mean, that's what I do for a podcast. I write down
Yeah,
what I'm working on every day because it helps me. And then I do it in advance and then I know what I'm doing the next day. And I might forget a few things and okay, what didn't I do yesterday? Transfer it over to make sure it gets done still. But yeah, I think calendars and watches are your best friends. I hate not knowing what time it is because you do have to be, if you have, especially have to be somewhere at one time. Because my pet peeve is other people being late. Because if I go to all the trouble to be on time, I think it's the height of disrespect to not show up, whether it's for friends, whether it's for
oh,
anybody.
oh, that chaps my heart.
You can text, you can call. If
Right,
it looks like you're running late, to give the person the option to reschedule, I let you know right away, how we're going to work this. And so we decided we're going to do virtually. So it
right,
worked perfect. What would have happened if I wouldn't have just shown up or let you know? Concern for your well being. Are you okay? And to make people worry about you, I think it's so inconsiderate.
it's
And
very.
I will not plan things with people that don't show up. Keep coming up with excuses or you just no show. I'm done. I
Yeah.
will not do things with you anymore.
That's why I put down those different websites that you can go to, which will help you managing your deadlines. Everybody's got computers, they're on your watch. So if you have all this stuff and you put these apps in, there's no reason you can't manage your time and your deadlines. So once again, these are going to be on our podcast. You can look these up and put these in your computer, put them in your iPhone, put them on your iPad, and they'll help you to maintain your deadlines so you don't run into that problem. And with that happy note, we're going to close for now and we will see you the next time. The next time, we will be covering consequences and rewards of time management.
I thought this is a really good discussion on this. And if you know somebody else that has trouble with their deadlines, make sure to share it with them
Oh, definitely.
and like it, subscribe because it does help the algorithm to be able to put it out to more people. So, and as soon as Jen gets a chance, she will put all these things in the notes. Right now, we're focused on just getting it done, getting these podcasts done and put out there so that you can have the information and we'll work on perfecting it as we go along.
Right.
Okay, so stay curious.
Stay focused. Bye.
We will see you later.